right. Hello, everybody. My name is Kelly McQuaig. I'm the pastor at Grace United Methodist Church, and I am so incredibly excited today to be talking to the one and the only Sarah Mercer, Grace's new Director of Youth and Mission. Not quite official yet because you don't start till July 4th, but Sarah, July 4th can't come soon enough. We are so excited to have you come on board with us in mission ministry. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Well, there are lots of people watching this right now. Lots of people who are so excited about you getting here. So many faithful followers of Jesus here at Grace that have been praying for this position for a long time, praying for our youth and for our mission work in our community for a long time. And this is just the natural next step for us. We've been praying. We put out these prayer bands on Easter Sunday, and they just say, "What's next, God? What's next?" And you're an answer to that prayer. You're an answer to that prayer of what's next for our ministry together. So as we've already talked before, Sarah and I thought this would be a cool way for our church community to get to know Sarah a little bit. And I don't even know some of the answers to these questions that I'm going to ask her. So I'll get to learn a little bit about Sarah too in this process. But we thought that let's record a conversation between Sarah and I. And anybody can post comments in the comments section. I would be happy to go back later. Sarah, you can go back later and answer any questions or say hi to people after we record this and upload this to Facebook and YouTube. But let's dive in. Sarah, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. We are all about making a difference in people's lives. Of course, a difference for Jesus here in Alamogordo, in Tularosa, in Otero County. We want to see lives changed. Because of Jesus. But to do that, we have to have changed lives too, right? And so I'm curious, what difference has Jesus made in your life?
Well, I've always grown up in the church, and so I've always had a faith background. But I think that the biggest change that Jesus has made in my life happened whenever I got to college, whenever I started going to the Wesley. And Jesus has just taken my life from being reserved and afraid and not being able to share my faith, not being able to talk to others about Jesus or talk to really people in general, and transformed me into a person that loves people and loves Jesus and just wants to share the good news. And that came through really taking my faith into my own hands instead of, I guess, my parents' faith or I don't know, but just like
your own, right?
Yeah, it became my own. And then
it was an assurance of faith that God put in your own heart. Well, that's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
And then through that, I was able to take that faith and give it to others. And It's been such a blessing in my life as well.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. You say that you've moved past this sense of fear to sharing your faith, to being excited about doing that. And just before I pushed record, you said something about not being afraid. Do you remember talk about moving from fear to faith in this transition? Can you share a little bit about with our church of how you feel about this? Are you afraid about this transition, or do you feel something else about this transition into this new job?
Well, something that has been a pretty consistent thing with every life change that I've ever had is that I have fear going into it. And usually it works out to where that fear is minimalized by the time I get to the change. But with this, it was different. With whenever I got this job, whenever you called me and told me that I was going to be y'all's new DYM, I could only feel excitement and peace. And through prayer and then coming to visit the church, there was only peace and only comfort in coming, and there was no fear at all. And that's been consistent over this last month too. So just
Great.
Excitement and peace about coming to be with you guys.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I felt that excitement on the phone with you that day. I think that some of the first words out of your mouth were, "Are you serious?" Something along those lines. I was like, "Yeah, I'm totally serious." we want you to come join us and share Jesus with us. And I could sense that excitement over the phone. And I'm so happy that you have a sense of peace about this. Not that a little bit of fear isn't a good thing sometimes, but we are at peace too. I'm at peace. The staff is on peace. The leadership is at peace. There is just so much peace around the next directions that we're taking with our youth and our mission ministry. And so you're not alone in that. We're not afraid either. We're ready to march right ahead with you. So Jesus has clearly made a difference in your life. He's moved you from fear to peace. He's moved you from fear to faith. He's put assurance of love and grace in your heart. But translate that to that next step. You alluded to a little bit about sharing with other people. You love Jesus, that's clear. But what do you love about sharing Jesus with others?
I think that we live in just such a broken world, and that no matter what it looks like outside of Jesus, what it looks like outside of the church, people are hurting. And I think that real genuine peace, real genuine comfort, real genuine satisfaction and love only comes through Jesus. And I love being able to be a vessel for Christ and being able to share his love and his comfort with people in a hurting world, because there's just so much darkness, but our God is so good. Amen. And he's so ready and willing to bring us into his love. Yeah. That's what I love about sharing Jesus.
You sound like a fantastic Methodist, Sarah. And that's
thank you.
I hope you sound that way. You know, I say it all the time around here. We're not only in the business of getting people to heaven. We're in the business of getting heaven into people here.
Yes.
And when Jesus promises abundant life, I believe, and I know you do too, that means we can experience that abundant life right here and right now. There's so many people in our community, so many youth in our community who need to know that promise that they can have hope today, hope that can get them through all the challenges that they're facing today and the ones that they're sure to face tomorrow. But the hopelessness in this world is just such a motivating factor for me in ministering to people. Is I want people to have hope again, and the world is too good at being hopeless. They need a church who can share hope again, and that's just so exciting. So awesome. I'm glad that's one thing you love about sharing Jesus with other people. I don't know if you see over my right shoulder, I've got lots of John Wesley paraphernalia here. And for those of you watching, you don't know who John Wesley is. John Wesley is one of the founders of the Methodist movement. Methodist pastors are usually Methodist geeks, and I'm a self-proclaimed Methodist geek. Sarah, if you don't claim that, that's okay. I won't hold it against you. But I am. And I think there's so much that he did and inspired that God worked through him to give us direction in this movement. And one of my favorite John Wesley quotes, and this does relate to youth ministry, I promise, is, as he's bobbling his head here, I'm just going to get out of the way so he's not distracted. But actually on John Wesley's deathbed, one of his young pastors who he had trained, who had gone out and started preaching, he came to visit John Wesley, and one of these young pastors said, "What do we need to do to make sure this ministry continues?" And the one thing John Wesley says was, take care of the rising generation. Take care of the rising generation. I love that. He wasn't just some stuffy old guy who didn't care about young people. He loved young people. He loved children. He loved teenagers. And he said, if you want to see this movement continue, you've got to take care of the rising generation. And with that in mind, what I know you're already taking care of the rising generation as you're currently working with youth and with college students. What do you love most about that? What do you love most about working with youth? And then to take it that step further, what do you love most about working with youth in mission and community and in the grand scheme of the whole church, getting us all out into the world together? What excites you about youth and mission ministry?
That's awesome. I think that my favorite thing about working with youth is actually that we get to be a part of building up the next generation. And it says in 1 Thessalonians Paul was talking to the church in Thessalonica about whenever you stand firm in your faith, I really live.
Yeah.
And so seeing young people take their faith as their own and seeing young people stand firm in Christ, that's whenever I really live. That's whenever I get to see the glory of God and the goodness of Jesus, is whenever young people take their faith and just really get it.
Yeah.
And that's probably my favorite thing about working in youth.
Yeah.
And then you said about working in mission?
Yeah.
Okay, so my favorite thing about working in missions is that it is always a step of faith. Like,
Every time, right?
no matter what, if you're going out of the country, if you're going to a local mission trip, if you're serving a campus, it is always a step of faith.
Yeah.
You never know where the funds are going to come to do it. You don't know if what's going to happen when you're there, but it is always a step of faith. And I think that going on a mission trip or serving your community in some type of mission way, it's always saying, Lord, I trust you. And I think that that's my favorite thing about working in mission.
Absolutely. And that faith never, at least in my experience, that faith is never fruitless. There's always fruit at the end of the day. There's always something that you can, when you lay your head on that pillow at the end of the day and you've taken that leap of faith, whether it went the way you thought it would or not, there's always something to be like, man, God, you were so good. Thank you for providing the way that you did. And thank you for teaching me that lesson, or thank you for growing me in that way, or thank you for having us make this encounter. Kind of like God's word never goes out into the void empty. Faith doesn't either, and when we step out in faith, God promises to be fruitful and to provide every step of the way. So that's awesome, because we're going to need a lot of faith, Sarah. There's a lot that there's a lot that we can do. There's a lot that we need to do. There's a lot that God is calling us to do. And it's going to take leaders like you to help lead us in those bold steps of faith. And I can't wait. I can't wait. So enough about, not one more thing about you. And then I'm going to let you ask me a question, see if I can answer. What do you love about Alamogordo? One of the things I loved about my initial interviews with you, and one of the things the leadership board loved about you, is that you already love this place. And that's so exciting. Shannon, my wife, and I were missionaries, and we fully believe in a missional spirit, that God bolsters that and grows that by often planting a love for a specific geographic place in that person's heart. I know what that feels like. My wife knows what that feels like, and you do too. So I'm curious, what are some things that you love about Alamogordo?
Well, I got to serve at Sacramento Camp and Conference Center for a summer whenever I was in college. And so we were always in Alamogordo on our days off.
Yeah.
And I found that I'm from West Texas and it is flat here. And so I love that Alamogordo is close to the mountains. I love that it is close to Sacramento, and I have such amazing friends up there. I love that White Sands is right there, and that's mind-blowing to me. That it's just a bunch of white sand in the middle of all of this,
right? And
that there's oryx there and elk in the mountains. Like, it's so cool. It's just, I love Alamogordo.
It's an incredibly diverse place, and and in so many different ways. And in just my less than 2 years being here, my wife and our kids, we've just already fallen in love with this place, and we can't wait for you to fall in love with it even more. Now, just because I have been here less than 2 years, I may not be able to answer your next question very well, but I am curious, is there anything you want to know about Alamogordo that either I can help you out and answer, or I can pass along to somebody else and say, I don't know. Do you have a question for me?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a local coffee shop that I go to, and I spend time there reading the Bible or planning youth or just like hanging out there. And it's one of my favorite things to do. And I was wondering if Alamogordo has a coffee shop like that.
It does. And I am going to be biased in this. I do have a favorite. There are several in town. And I'm going to tell you the one that I went to. I say went past tense because COVID, and I'm still not there as much as I would like to be. They are open, but when things get back to quote unquote normal, I'll be doing all of my sermon prep, all my study time. I love to be there, and like you, I like to get to know the staff, the servers, the regulars. It's just so much fun. It's like a second church.
For real.
It's called Plateau Espresso. Plateau Espresso. It's on Scenic. And if you love Alamogordo, the nature of Alamogordo, the scenery of Alamogordo, this is the best place in town, because on a nice day, and most days in Alamogordo are super nice. They have a beautiful patio area, covered patio. And you can see the whole basin. You can see White Sands. You can see the whole town. You can see the Organ Mountains to our west. It's just an incredible coffee shop. I promise you it's better than the one you're going to right now.
Okay, I'll have to find out.
At least the scenery is better than the one that you're going to now. I can promise you that. But also it's a great place to pray. I mean, I love writing my sermons up there because I'll orient my laptop to where I can look out over the basin and just pray through and let God help me write my sermons. And the whole time I get to have the whole community in my view. And it's just a powerful reminder of the people that God has placed us in mission with here. So check out Plateau Espresso, and
okay, I'll have to do that.
Tell them Pastor Kelly sent you. So
okay, will do.
Yeah. Okay, I do have one more question for you. But is there anything else you would like to share with our viewers, or any more questions that you might have for me before we wrap this short video up and let you go?
Just that I am so excited to get there. It's one of my greatest joys in this season of my life, is looking forward towards that and getting to be with you guys and serve alongside you guys. And so
very cool.
I'm just so excited.
Very cool. Well, final question has nothing to do with ministry and everything, just to get to know you a little bit better. Imagine somebody in Hollywood is making a movie about your life, okay? Your exciting, your awesome, your wonderful life. If you could pick any actor, living or even dead, to play you in that movie, do you have anybody you would like to have play you in a movie about your life?
I'll watch a movie and never even know who the actress in the movie is.
It's that one girl in that one movie, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that one girl in that one movie.
I think that's a great answer. I think it's a great answer. That one girl.
She was awesome in that one role that she did.
Yeah. Oh,
a real star.
She won an Oscar for it, didn't she?
Yeah. A few.
So now we know that you don't know actor and actresses' names from movies. Okay, that's a good thing for us to learn. That you forget a movie the moment it's over. Is that what you're saying?
No, I can tell you exactly what she looks like. She's got blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yeah, I bet you can. Wears a maroon plaid shirt. Yeah. Okay. Well, if anybody watching this knows who this is, put it in the comment section. Who do you think should play Sarah in a movie about her life? That'd be fun to put in the comment section, and we'll see if you get it right, because Sarah knows who it is. You just want us to figure it out, right?
I'll have to Google the name to see if it's the right one.
There you go. Awesome. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for just taking a brief amount of time. I just wanted to give our church and our community the opportunity to see your face, to hear your voice, to get to know you a little bit better. And until the day that we can all be in ministry face to face again, know that our prayers are with you. Know that you can reach out to us for anything that you might need. We love you already. We're praying for you already. And you're already part of the Grace United Methodist Church family. And we can't wait to have you here with us.
Thank you so much.
Yep. We will see you July 4th, okay?
Yes.
All right. Bye, Sarah.
Bye.